Hi guys, it's Chantale from Lepage Cafe. I am finally back with a video, you guys. Sorry, it's been, I was having issues with my other sewing machine, so I brought my other one, this one back in, and then I was having issues with the tension. So long story short, I finally figured it out, and I made, because I wanted to show you guys a couple things to do that with the sewing machine if you wanted to try different things. For example, what we can create, this is part, what would it be? 7, I think, of the series. And I had shown you guys how to make these paper ruffles over here. I'm just going to show you pretty much the same idea behind it, but how I do it with my machine, which I hope you can see. Yeah, okay. So I also created some pockets. These will be, this one I didn't sew. I did that on purpose so I could show you guys what just happened there. So I could show you guys how I sew around for the ones that might be curious. It's super simple, I mean, and then I will put them in the back. There's gonna be a pocket back here, and then another pocket in the front over here, which I will sew around, okay? And then I'll just show you a couple things you can do with your machine, with your sewing machine, if you have one. So paper ruffles. What I do is I use an old card that I don't use, that is no longer, it's just like a bank card or gift certificate card, whatever you want. I use this to make the ruffle part. These are the paper ruffles I'm talking about. These are just from scraps of random papers. That's why I was saying to keep your scraps, your cutoffs. So I will show you how to make these into ruffles and how you can use them in your journal that you created. So I use a card. You don't have to. It's up to you. I just put it here, and you have this kind of spot that you can. So I don't go backwards because I mean it's just paper and it's not like it's gonna unravel like material. And then I just start so that it's like attached, right? And then I push on it like that. There's your first ruffle, and then you sew it. And then once, it depends on how close you want them. If you want them closer, do it right away. Then you'll have a closer ruffle, right? Like this. If it pops out, push it back in. It's okay. And I don't glue these. I just literally, if you want them straight, try to keep your paper straight. If you want them wonky, you can go back and forth like this and like that. Like this one is a little thicker, this paper. So you could literally, I don't know if you guys can see that, put it in an angle like that so that it's not straight. Now, because this journal is kind of more softer color, I decided to keep white thread. But if you use, I love to change the thread out. I love to make the thread different colors depending on the journal I'm working on. If it's a darker journal, like a more grungier, then I'll put like black. Okay, so right here, you're at the end of your paper. Yes, your ruffle will be a lot smaller than your paper itself. So there's your piece. Let's see if I'm in frame here. There's your piece right there from that this long piece, right? See the difference in size? It's this size it's almost half for when you do your ruffle. See how your piece is right here, like there's one little piece. That's the end of your cutoff. Now what you can do, you can end here and just finish it off. Or if you want to do like a strip, like let's say you have a bunch of cutoff from, like if you make a smaller journal, you'll have a little bit more cutoffs from like tea-dyed paper, or let me see if I can find some. Just give me a second here. I know I have some over here. See, these are cutoffs from a bigger journal or a smaller journal that I have created. Now you can use these to make ruffles. And what I want to show you guys is once you're at this part here, see how there's like that little strip? You can keep going with the same color or a different color. It doesn't matter, because you can cut these off whatever size you want them to put it. You can attach them to tags. You can put them on the edge of your papers if they're already sewed. At this stage, you could still sew stuff on the edge here if you wanted to, like actually attach, but it's a little more difficult if it's this big. So what I do is I make ruffles, and then where I have my pockets, let me see if I can find one. I think this one has, nope. I know there's more. Oh, right here. This one here, see, has a pocket. I didn't sew this one yet. But what you can do, sorry, I'll go back. I'll go in frame for you guys. Right here, you could use a ruffle like this and attach it, and it looks like you sewed your pocket, but you're just gluing it on top, and then you have that fun ruffle on the edge of your book when you close it, right? See, like this, your paper ruffle. You can also do this with material. You can cut your material in strips like this. I'll show you. This is a piece of material that I had that I've literally just cut in strips, and you can do the same thing that I will show you what I do next. So what I do is I'm just gonna keep going and keep going. See, this is another piece of that ruffle. And here's another piece, and here's another piece of the scraps. So when you want to use them, you can just cut them, use them on your tags, or you can use them on the edge of your papers. There's so many. And if, like, let's say you want them a little darker, you can ink these and then have them a little darker for the edge of your papers. Okay, so I will show you what I do next to make, and then you can make these. See? Where you have a lot of ruffle, and then you can ink these up if you want them darker. This one has green stitching. I use a zigzag. You don't have to. You can use a straight. But see how much I've got here? Yes, I've just unraveled all that. And see how there's different types of papers? And that's okay with me. And then you can look through them and decide, okay, I want this script on the edge of my paper. I'm going to cut here and here. This piece, oh, I like that grunge. I'm going to use it on a journal, on a tag or whatever. These ruffles are so useful to have nearby if you need it for whatever, right? Then I literally just roll it like this. So what I do at this point, I'm just gonna put that to the side because that might take a little while. I just keep them in a jar. But what you can do next is you take your piece and then you just tuck it in that little last fold, right? I'm just gonna move you a little bit so you can maybe see a little bit better. I don't know if it's gonna help that much, but so you just put it in here and you keep, this one is a much lighter, so it'll be easier to bend it, like fold it with your card. I like the card because then I can go faster when I do it. So there's your ruffle. So you keep sewing, push on your pedal for your, I mean, all sewing machines are different, I guess, but mine is an older one and I have a pedal. And you just push on it and you just keep going. Sometimes it's just a little easier. Well, I mean, it's completely up to you. Then you can place it whichever way you want. Angle. And then see your tip here? Then you could put a piece of regular paper. Stick it in there. And then you can just keep going. Now, this is wonderful for your scraps that you have that are just like sitting around. And then we'll just keep going and use these ones just so you can kind of see what I mean. And I just keep, like, this is the avocado one and this is just a regular one. We'll put the regular one. And I just literally tuck it in and line it up. And then I just keep sewing. And see how this bit, I just tuck it in like that if you want it. And then you just keep going. And because this one's nice and thin, it's a little bit easier to push. So you can keep going and get faster with time. Now, I've been doing this for a while, so don't compare. Just do your best, right? And try it out. Worst thing, you want to do it by hand and you don't want to do this process, right? You can put a smaller piece too. Just put it underneath the petal. Another thing you could do is put your needle in your paper and then lift it if you want, right? And just keep going. And then I tuck this piece in. I just find it a little easier than using my hands to do it, to fold it. But I mean, it's completely up to you, really. And then you can keep going like that. So anyways, this is kind of how I make my ruffles, my paper ruffles with my machine. You could easily do this by hand, but it's going to be a little bit longer, like a longer process. But then you would just use glue instead of your sewing machine, right? Which you could technically do if you wanted to, like glue all these and then sew it. See how long my ruffle is now? So I'm just gonna finish this piece, and I'm okay with the fact that it's not straight. It doesn't matter. I kind of like a wonky, and if it's acting up sometimes because of the tea dyeing, it doesn't want to bend the way you want. Just play with it till you get it. It's all good. There's no right or wrong reason when it comes to junk journaling, you know? So I'll just finish this one off there so we do other stuff, right? And then you just cut the back. There you go. And there's your paper ruffles for using in your journal. See how it's different sizes here? You could always trim it so they're straight. You could use a ruler. You could use just your hands and, you know, straighten it out if you want a more like even ruffle kind of deal. See? Excuse me. Another thing you could do if you wanted a little grungier, you could ink them. You could ink the stitch. I'll do this end just to kind of show you. You can just ink the stitch and it'll just, your white will turn your vintage ink, right? And then you can ink the edges just like that. Another thing you could do if you want to just not have to do this inking part, and then see, your end is inked up. Even the edges, you can ink them if you want to, or I just pass on top, right? And then it becomes a little grungier. And then you would cut this piece and use it whichever way you want, really. Another thing you can do as well when you do your pockets, there's my pocket with my leftover scrapbooking paper. You can also use the ruffle for the top to decorate, right? Or you could bring it a little lower and it can become a little belly band as well if you wanted to. Like you could go this way and it looks like you sewed it. And then you could have a belly band like that, right? As well. You could use it as a belly band, or you could use it just as a decoration if you want. Or another thing you could do if you want a double pocket, you could use your second scrapbook paper, sew around it, and then you could put this ruffle at the top, right? You don't even have to sew the top and it looks sewed. And it just makes it a little prettier, right? For example, here my thread was ripping my paper right here. I don't even know if I'm in frame. This little piece right at the top here, it ripped my paper. So another thing you could do here is put a piece of ruffle. See? And nobody knows, right? And it's a great way to hide a little mistake and make it look pretty. Or you could even bring it a little lower if you wanted to. And then you'll have the edge of the other one popping in the back, right? You could even use it as a little tuck spot if you just glued the top, right? You could have a tuck spot on the bottom or at the top, whichever way you want. There's so many options with these ruffles. It's a wonderful thing. Let's see if I have something I could use to show you guys, like a tag or something. I don't have much right here. Okay, so let's say you have something like that. It can be a tag. This is an old Christmas card. You could add your ruffle on the edge like that. Like, I know this is very dark, but you could even use like a lighter one like this, right? And have it at the top if you wanted to. And then it just gives it a little something, right? I kind of like the ruffles on the side of my tag. I don't know why. And then you could cut the ends, ink it up, stamp it if you wanted. There's so many options. So there's one little tidbit for you. I'm going to sew around this with a zigzag like I did this one so it matches, and then we're going to stick it in our journal. So I just literally, I don't know, I tend to I start from this side, or like this one is going to be in the front, I think. So I sew it so the little strings are coming out the sides. I kind of like, sorry, I'm probably out of frame. Sorry, guys. Right here. See how the little strings, sorry, I'm going to move you a little bit. See how the little strings pop out the side here? I really like that effect. So what I do when this one will be in the front, and then my back one, which I'm going to sew for you guys, I'm going to start it at this end so that the little strings come out the edge of my book. So that's just how I like it. You don't have to do it like that. It's just a suggestion. So now I'm going to start it here and just go all the way around. Sorry if I'm shaking the phone, you guys. Then I just go to the corner, put my little needle in, and then I flip it, and then I keep going. Then I just bring it to the back. The little cutter's back there. And there you go. And then I always, sometimes, most of the time I trim these a bit anyways, because I don't want them too long. And then there's my second pocket, right? Should we put some ruffle at the top of this one? I'm just going to check where I want it, about here, and then we'll just cut it. And like, see how there's like that little edge? You can just trim it, right? Except I didn't get it all. Just like that. And then I'll ink the rest of it. And then I'll get the edges. Okay, so now I will sew my pocket down. Trying to just make some room a little bit over here. So the first thing I want to do is like I said, I like the little strings on the edge, so I'm putting it on the edge with the other one. And then I just glued the top. I'm just gonna put it as an embellishment. I'm not gonna make it into a belly band or nothing like that. I'm just gonna make it simple. And then I just use my Fabri-Tac because I know it's going to hold. And then I use the thread usually is what I use to line things up. And then I'm going to stick it at the top, just like that. And then you got yourself a little ruffle at the top. So how fun is that, right? And then, just want to make sure I don't have any glue popping up from the top of my ruffle. And now, this is going to be my pocket. So I put my thumb there so I know that I don't want any glue on this side. And of course my Fabri-Tac just came out real fast. So, and then I'm going to put the bottom here of glue, and I'm just going to clean up that. spot on the one side here, so I don't have that side of my pocket glue over here. Just putting it towards the stitching, and I just even things out with my thumb. You don't have to do that. Then there's a little less, it's more even, your glue, and it's kind of almost in your stitching, so it'll hold it a little bit better, I think. Well, I think that's how I do it. It works. So, and then I just kind of straighten it out or follow the stitch of the other one in the back, right? Now, because this journal is going to be pretty full, I will probably have a closure, which I can show you guys how I do it. So here's my one pocket. Now, another thing I do, I grab my ruler, which of course I have no clue where it is because it's under paper. Oh, it's right here. Are you guys like yelling at me? It's right up there, you guys. So, and then I check it. Make sure that I didn't glue, like, because sometimes it happens where you might have dropped a piece of glue up here or whatever. So I just check it really quick. Another thing you can do, Fabri-Tac is pretty great at bonding after a couple minutes, but you could put like little clips, and I don't use the pocket until it's completely dried. I don't put stuff in it. I leave it alone, and then I'll do the other side, right? So let's do that. I'm gonna move my machine a little bit, just a little bit, so I have a little bit more room. Now the front, what should we do with the front? Should we put another ruffle? Maybe we could do that. Let's see. Another thing you could do is put your ruffle on the edge too as well. Should we try that? Put it on the edge. We'll just, I'm thinking because I've got this color in my journal, I think I'm going to use that beige on, or whatever color you want to call it, this orangey color on the edge over here. So I will cut that down. I kind of like cutting it in an angle. I don't know why. I don't know. Gives it a little character, maybe. And then I measured the bottom. And then it's about this, right? So then these bits I keep for the next edge or whatever you want to call it. Now, I don't care for this little bit of white, so I'm going to ink the edge of that one. It's almost a little, this piece. Sometimes I'll have random pieces like this because that's where the ruffle is, and I just cut it down, right? Just like that, because I don't need it. I don't need the extra bulk, and it's gonna hold. So then I just go like that, ink the other edge real quick. It's difficult for me to keep them like white. I like grungy kind of, and this journal is not as grungy as my regular. So now I'll glue my ruffle down again. I hope I'm still in frame. Go like this a little bit more. Sorry, I just don't want you guys to miss any parts of it. So I'm just going to kind of line it up and then check the back, make sure I don't have glue popping out. And then I literally, whoops, move the whole thing over. And my ruffle stuck on there. And now I'm going to glue my pocket in my journal. And then you get that little ruffle on the edge as well. So I know that my top is here, so I will hold it with my thumb and then I go around. On the stitching again, I just find that it gets into those fibers and holds your pocket. a little bit better. And of course I miss. And then I just use my finger like I said earlier. I'm going to put my lid on that before it starts going everywhere. And then I just add it like that. And then I just kind of follow the stitch and gently push it down so it binds, right? Gonna move the whole pocket over because it's still like, because it's Fabri-Tac, you still have a little bit of time to move it if you want to or if you need to. And then I check it with my ruler. Oh, I'm stuck. Got tea bags attached to my finger. And then I just go, I check the corner. Make sure it kind of follows the edge of my stitching. So I got a little extra here, but I'm okay with that. It's not in the middle. It also kind of stretches your pocket so you can put more stuff in it as well. But I don't want to hold it too, I don't want to pull on it too much because I want it to bond, yeah, glue. Attach, you know. So there you go. Now you got yourself a pocket with the ruffle on the edge, and then you also have a second option where you have your ruffle at the top. Another thing I like to do is put some kind of embellishment on it, on the pocket itself. So another thing you could do with that is you can also use your ruffles for that if you want. Like you could use it on top as a little, but I won't use it like that, I don't think. Now, what I wanted to do is add some ruffles on the edge. I like to scatter them a bit so they're not all in the same spot, right? You don't want them all the same. I like them kind of all over the place, so it kind of evens out the edge of your journal. And I like, even if I don't have, like this first signature doesn't have any pockets at all, it does not mean that I will, well, it still has like the envelope pockets like this, right? But I will not skip this one and not put any ruffles or any tabs. Sorry, I completely hit the table there. I will still keep adding, right? And I usually try to use, like, I won't use this guy on that one, right? Because it's just too much the same. I need to trim this. I will use it on a more, you know, colorful page or a more like, you know, like this kind of, but I don't want it the same spot. I mean, you could, it would work too. But I think I'm going to use it over here. See how we have this pocket? See how it's already glued? We glued that one last time. So I will probably add it like this or on the other side like this. So I don't need this part because it doesn't match the other one. So I can literally just pull it out like that too, right? Now, I think I might ink the edges. I have trouble not inking stuff. So I will ink the edges real quick just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And I have trouble with straight edges, so I cut it kind of like in an angle. And then ink them. I don't know, it just gives it some character, I guess. I just like the way it looks, so that's how I do it. So now it looks like you sewed, but you didn't, right? You could always put it like this as well, or up here if you wanted to. I think I'm going to go in the middle. So I will put some glue on the stitching again. And then glue it like that. Now, because this guy is thicker, this paper that I did the ruffle with is quite a bit thicker than my other papers. Well, I should say some of my other papers. I will just push a little harder. So there you go. Now, because this side is very white, I might just leave it. I don't know. I might ink it too. We shall see. Or another thing you could do if you wanted to is put another ruffle on the other side if that's what you want to do. You don't, I mean, you don't have to, but that's another option. And then it'll kind of pop up like that on the other side, right? So I hope this kind of gave you a little help on how to I make the ruffles with my sewing machine. I just ripped that ruffle completely, so I'm just going to cut that piece off. And then this guy is ready to go. What am I at for time? Oh, I'm already half an hour in. Wow, it doesn't take long, does it? So like you could attach them to the edge of your pockets. This part is the part that takes the longest because it really depends on your style. It depends on what you want. See, this one I glued down. Remember, we had the pocket here and then a pocket here. So what you could do is make some kind of tag or whatever you want and just put it in there, right? And then what you could do is have your ruffle on it so that when you're pulling it out, you still have your spot to write, but you also have your little decoration as well, right? So that when you put it in your envelope, you see the ruffle come out and it kind of becomes like a whole, kind of gives your whole piece a little bit more, I don't know, design or beauty, whichever one you want. There's my daughter in the background being silly. Or you could also put it at the top of a tag so that when you put your tag in, it'll stop at the ruffle and it will also come out the edge of your paper, right? Or you could put it at the top of your tag and it would pop up the top. Should I just stop this video here so it's not too long to upload? There is so many things you can do in here. Maybe we should put this ruffle over here, I'm thinking. Why not, right? Let's put another one. Now, first things first, I will glue this one. You don't have to glue them down. It could be just a tuck spot too, right? But because I'm making it into a pocket, I am going to glue that side as well. Now see how this time I did my ruffle on the inside instead of sticking it on the outside. You can do that either way, it works just fine. Oh my goodness, I completely missed the pocket and went all the way. It's okay. It's all right. It happens, right? And then again, on the stitch itself, I will put my glue. I find that it just bonds it a little bit better. Oh, I didn't do my... And then you just measure it up, kind of line it up for the middle. Where's the other one? The other one was in the middle too, wasn't it? But that's okay. I will add way more anyways. And then when you look at it on the side, then you have your lovely little ruffles here and there, right? And it just gives it a little something extra to look at. This one is not dry, as you can tell. I'll just stick it back down because Fabri-Tac takes a little bit. You still have time to move it if you want. So this is kind of the video on how to make paper ruffles and how to sew them. So let me know if you guys want me to keep decorating it with you on video, or if you're done with it and you just want to create it, do your part now on your own. Yeah, let me know. and I will keep making them, and I will probably post them only once a week. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see how much people want to see a more updated one or a new one. I've been trying to do them every second day, every third day at the latest, but it's been, I've had let's say a couple of days of craziness, just with life in general, and my kids are off for like 2.5 days, so it gets very loud in my house, so it's a little more difficult to make a video. But there will be a video soon, because I have a series of very grungy journals coming up very, very, very soon. I'm just finishing off the details, like the embellishments, yeah, I can always keep going with this series, or I can start a new series with other techniques that I do. So let me know what you think, and I hope you subscribe and stay a while. And thank you so much for everybody that is subscribed, and make sure to put the bell on so you know when the next video is coming up. So I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.